suit to make me rain. Can you see this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that right there. Birthday suit to make it outside. You're wearing an extra tight shirt today?
Yeah, I had to go out earlier. Well, to buy the beer, so.
So you had to like dress up a little bit.
These are my normal clothes now.
Oh yeah.
You like it?
That's funny.
Yep, that's my humor. All right, nobody in the chat yet.
Come on, buddy. But 3 people have already liked the fucking video, which is
sweet.
I've already jumped in there.
All right.
Whether they're gonna chat or not is another thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Rub the hand sanitizer all on my.
Snort that shit.
Yeah, whatever happened with that dude? I guess the dude with his the roommate got tested.
No word. Yeah, haven't heard anything since. Bronco Fett, my man.
So, Bronco, I saw a graphic that said that Idaho didn't have any cases, but I'm pretty sure I saw in your guys' feed that Idaho.
Well, they were one of the last 3 states to not get any cases, but then they got it. I think the last state was West Virginia. Was the last state to not get any cases?
That's right, because I saw that it had like a bracketology thing going.
Bracketology. English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
That is English.
Okay.
You just don't know.
I'm ill-educated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. What a show we have today.
So, we don't need to talk about what we're going to do, but when we do the 30 seconds, we can go, like, off camera.
Oh, yeah, and do the thing.
And then do the thing.
Okay. I don't know if I can get off camera. Yeah, maybe.
I'm surprised there's not like a camera mute where you can go like. Pew.
There probably is somewhere in all these controls and shit, but like when we get to this point, when we're like live, I don't want to go fucking with too much shit and kind of mess it up. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Idaho now has 4. Spreading like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Do we do a sound check? We haven't like.
Yeah, I started recording already the audio, and I've been following along as we're talking, and it seems to work. And yes,
hello. I need to get that
hello.
Yell out. I need to.
So again, Bronco Fett or anybody else in the chat, if my audio like drops out, please, for the love of God, let us know.
Did you order that stuff, by the way?
I did not. I was waiting to hear back from you because I had sent you the one text like, "Hey, I'll order it today if you think this is what we should get," and then I never heard back from you.
Why would I send you the stuff that I thought we should get and then?
I don't know. I need confirmation. I need to prepare to purchase the thing and then purchase the thing.
Why are we preparing? You're always preparing. Just go.
Right.
I'm going to be eating goldfish live.
This is the extent of my notes for 2 episodes of the Clone Wars.
I'm not even going to get out my notes.
Yeah.
But you see what I did, right?
I did. Yes. Very smart. Thinking ahead for you.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. I didn't bring my iPad yet.
Well, you got the notes up there. What else are you going to use the iPad for? Get off the shed! God, Will Ferrell is a funny human being.
He is.
Man, I haven't had Corona in...
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Did we drink any of Big Lovin's when they came here for the 100th?
I don't think so. I think we were busy boozing.
Yeah.
With other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had a Corona, honestly. It's been possibly a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been that long for me. Blah, 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 blah. Corona Task Force. Corona. Make sure my thing is muted. Dude, crazy today. Like, we use Slack at work.
Yeah.
And just the message traffic has been abundant.
Yeah, we use GroupMe, and I just realized I haven't checked it in a few hours.
Yeah, like that's the one ops stream, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. It's like, what craziness. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to say this probably, and I'll say it multiple times. I'm just going to let you know now that, Kate, if you're listening, the answer is no.
She want you to come pick her up?
No. We just dropped her off. The answer is no. I don't even want to waste energy talking about it, but if she just happens to be listening with, her and her boyfriend, like, just chilling, no. Okay.
What's your boyfriend's name?
Ryan.
Is he a Star Wars fan?
I think so. He's a physics nerd.
Okay.
I think he's a doctoral candidate right now in physics.
Nice. I was gonna say, if he's not, then this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty squared away kid.
Good. Very good.
I mean, physics. He fucking actually worked on a rocket that went up in Wallops over the summer. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
So.
Love that kind of shit.
Fit in well in my nerd categories.
Indeed. All right.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I guess we're ready. I don't know where the hell everybody is. I mean, fuck, everybody's quarantined.
All right.
What else does anybody have to do?
Big Swede is trying to get a fucking brake rotor unstuck.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. We got tasked with some shit to do today, like work-wise, so.
Can they do that? Task on the weekends?
So, here's the thing. They can't, but we're mission guys,
Yeah.
We're certainly not going to say no. And be like, I don't have that ability until tomorrow. I could have very easily said that, but I'm not going to.
Right.
I already had I already have my shit all set up at home. All I had to do was log in. It took me some time, but honestly, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
For what? There's definitely a point in time when I could just say no. Like, and we'll get into it. This wasn't one of those times.
Yeah, that's fine.
I need to do it. I need to work on a Ron Burgundy, like, voice. I need to work on that.
You're kind of close when you do the voice guy from Clone Wars. That's sort of, the high-pitched noise with the thing and the... Not high-pitched, but
it's not high-pitched. It's like the
way that you talk like this.
The big boy radio voice. Yes. I cannot control the volume of my voice.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island? All right.
I believe that's an old wooden ship.
So it's your toast.
It is.
So you saw I put the plead for 5-star reviews at the front.
Did you look to see if we have any?
I did.
We do not. Okay. Perfect. One less thing for me to stall.
Then we roll into all this.
Should
I pee first? I should pee first.
You should pee first.
I should pee first.
Half a Corona in and his bladder's already toasted.
I've been drinking water all day. I worked out earlier.
Of course you did.
I see.
Whatever.
What's up with the Coke out here?
I'll tell you in a minute. Dude. This shit is so fucking good. It's terrible for you. But is there anything better than just plain old baked goldfish snack crackers? I mean, the pretzel ones are pretty good too, but this is great podcast material. Me smacking my lips, eating fucking goldfish. It's so good. Utah Jazz player. The Utah Jazz are still a thing. I haven't paid attention to the NBA when, honestly, probably the last time I paid attention to the NBA where the Utah Jazz was concerned, Karl Malone was still playing.
Mailman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that dude that touched all the mics, and then it turns out he actually had corona. That's fucking hilarious.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
That NBA player? Oh my god. That shit was fucking funny. All right, we good?
Yeah. You got your gear ready?
Oh shit. Let me get my stopwatch ready. Where did my stopwatch go? There it is.
At least you're wearing your watch.
I know. Of course, I picked the wrong thing. I picked the timer, not the fucking stopwatch.
Like a monkey fucking a football, man.
I used to love how when I would say that when I got to my new squadron, and everybody just looks at me like, "What?" I'm like, you've never heard that before?
You've never heard that before?
Yeah. All right. So I guess when the 30 seconds is up, I'll just point. Hopefully you can see. All right, we good?
Yeah, we probably should have tested around this, but fuck it, we're doing it live.
Yep. It's our thing. It's what we do. All right, 30 seconds of silence starting now.
To the coronavirus.
So the coronavirus.
Oh, wait.
Shit.
You know what? These just filter smoke, not toxins, so probably not going to do us any good anyway.
All right. Whew. Wow. What a difference a week makes, huh? Oh, shit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy, coming to you despite the nationwide quarantine that we now seem to be under. All Things Star Wars is still coming at you each and every single week. With me here each and every single week is the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
It's a dynamite taste.
Yes, we are enjoying a little bit of Corona to celebrate the coronavirus.
Alcohol apparently kills the coronavirus, so.
Oh, shit. Man, if I'd known that, I'd have been...
Yeah.
I don't know. So, oh my god. Have we got a lot of shit to talk about. But first, before we get into anything else, I'm throwing this at the beginning of the show as opposed to the end.
Because we know how fucking well the show runs when Jason fucks with the order.
Yeah. And listen to last week's episode about that. But just want to ask again, for anybody who hasn't done so already, please go on to iTunes. Even if you're not an Apple person, even if you hate Apple computers, you hate fucking iPhones, you can still on your Windows computer, download a copy of iTunes, go on there, look up the All Things Star Wars podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. Because that's what this is all about. We need 5-star reviews. We haven't gotten one in a while. It really helps with our visibility. It helps get us new listeners. So please go and do that. And with that, as we've stated since the beginning of this podcast, if you go and you give us a review on iTunes, we will read it here on the show verbatim. So write whatever the fuck you want, as long as you just click that 5 stars, we'll read it here on the air. So please, please, please go and do that, because we've only got like 50-something reviews on there, and I know we get a hell of a lot more downloads than that, so I know you're all out there listening. So please, 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 go give us a 5-star review.
Hey, while you're sitting at home not doing anything else.
Exactly.
Like, no work, no school, no church.
Right.
It's Sunday.
No sports, no anything.
No working, no play.
Life is canceled.
Yes.
However,
aside from podcasting.
Right. And, this is like a great time to point out that the introverts finally rule.
Yes, it is. It is excellent.
Yes.
It is absolutely excellent.
Our day has come, but we've got a lot of Corona shit to get into. But before we get into that, we've got some other business to take care of. So, Dave, take us out.
All right. I was looking at Podbelly, right? And I was on Reddit not too long ago, a couple days ago. And there's a podcasting stream where like they have a weekly like, hey, fucking puke out all your fucking info for your latest episode here on this thread.
Okay.
Right? Cool. So I threw our stuff on there. I put episode 141 was out, but I put 140 just because I thought it was catchier. you know, for this particular thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. A little social engineering, right?
Yeah.
And I decided, instead of putting the iTunes link in, you know, where we would ordinarily put your link, I put Podbelly's. Because not only can you go to podbelly.com, we see that we are the #1 podcast on the site.
Damn right.
Numero uno. You can click on it and you can listen to us.
Yep.
You can subscribe to our RSS feed, or however you decide to get your podcast. It's pretty much the best ever. The only thing we need now is a way to get reviews through Podbelly. If we could get reviews through Podbelly,
that would be huge.
That's another avenue that people could do.
Yeah.
And I think that you can actually contact the show through Podbelly as well.
Yes, you can.
So you can fucking spam the show, which they do.
Yeah.
Some weird shit too.
And apparently it's only us.
Yeah.
We're the only one on Podbelly that gets all these spam messages because
#1.
we are #1.
But go to podbelly.com, enjoy our podcast, find a way to give us a review, follow us on Instagram, and, you know, subscribe to us on YouTube. Do all those things, and also do that for all the other podcasts that are on Podbelly.
See,
the Hillbilly 3PO, the Hillbilly Horror Stories. You have the podcast we listen to. You have the Sofa King guys, and then if you go to podbelly.com, go to listen podcast directory, you can also find our friends, the Escape Pod.
Yep.
And you can find our friends at the Used and Abused podcast.
Yes, you can.
And that's it.
That's it for the ATSW family.
Right. Because you follow Swede Studios, and you can get fucking... Dude, I don't know. I think that I occupy my time a lot. I don't know how to say that. I find shit to do all the time, so I'm constantly fucking busy, and I feel like, oh my god, I'm so fucking busy. But some psychosis that I have that, like, I feel the need to always be doing something. Fucking Nick must have the same shit, because he's doing his Sweet Studios thing. He's playing guitar, doing like the wrestling. Like he just did that wrestling thing.
Yep.
Where
he re-recorded the Triple H song.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is what?
It's called The Game.
The Game. There you go. So he was doing that, and he took all these tracks, and he got people to do the drum thing, and throw all that shit together. And then he has his gun stuff that he does, and he has this other random fucking... Sweet Studios has a lot going on.
Yeah. And he's got kids too, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's got kids and fucking, you know, wife who loves plants. It's like, it's a whole, it's a thing. It makes me feel like I don't have that much going on, to be honest.
Right.
I've only got one podcast to worry about and one fucking Instagram stream.
Yeah, one YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know?
Regardless of that, that started with podbelly.com. We will finish with podbelly.com. And you will do it.
Yep, and then we'll move right over to Patreon. If you want to support the All Things Star Wars podcast.
Fucking with the order. Patreon goes. Then Podbelly goes.
You gonna make it? You gonna be okay?
No. Obviously.
Patreon.com/ATSW podcast. If you want to support the show, everything that you give us goes right back into the studio. We're actually going to be buying a new mixer and some other audio doodads for hopefully by next week we'll have all that stuff going.
Yeah, I was hoping to be able to play with them today. Apparently somebody needs to freaking...
I need verification, validation.
You're always preparing. Just go.
I know. But in the meantime, just want to give a big thank you to everybody who does support us on Patreon. Tony Ferrari, Camille Donovan, Nick Jackson, Frederick Martin, Big Lovin, Scott Rasmussen, Tactical Swede, Don Solsky, Shotgun Mark, and Avery Morgan. Thank you, everybody, for your support. You are the reason why we do this. So, a couple of our patrons have spoken to me over the last week. First of all, Camille Donovan is very upset about the constant Clone Wars. She does not like the Clone Wars. She wants us to do something a little more interesting. And I'm like, well, this is this what's going on right now.
Yeah,
so I apologize.
This is today in Star Wars. It happens to be the Clone Wars.
Yep. And also had Nick Jackson reach out to me fairly recently, within the last few days, and we had some back and forth. And he highly recommends the Dark Disciple audiobook. So.
Do you mean this?
That audiobook. And
well, this is obviously not an audiobook. This is a real book.
Yeah.
Something to add to the
Sacred Jedi texts.
Yes.
So,
And if you notice, I've already read this.
right, and I told him that too. I'm like, yeah, I know Dave's already read it.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that the audiobook is another one that's got the high production quality, read by Mark Thompson. So, he seems to be their go-to guy for a lot of this shit. But, yeah, he recommended that, so we got to add that to the docket.
Well, we have this week, if we're going to talk about it, this week we're going to have the release of the book.
The novelization of Rise of Skywalker.
Thank you.
Yes.
Novelization. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, the novelization of Rise of Skywalker. So we have that, obviously, to do first.
Yes.
I'm still pushing through Galaxy's Edge. Fucking Snorefest.
Yeah, the way you make that sound, I may never.
It's okay. Hey, layman's terms.
Hey.
They're in the chat.
In the chat, we've got Keith Lehman of Layman's Terms. Be sure to go subscribe to him on YouTube.
Oh, we've got greetings from Liverpool, UK.
Hey, is everything a shit show out there in the UK like it is in the US? I bet it is.
Hey, listen, according to the Centers for Disease Control, the UK and Ireland are now considered to be a level 3. Yeah. Also,
well, I know Italy is closed for business, as is Spain now, apparently. So.
As España. Yep. Like, legitimately.
Like, we are closed.
You can't even... Well, we'll get into all the Corona shit here in a minute. Yeah. He loves a Corona.
Yeah. So, anyway, real quick, just wanted to give another shout-out before we get to... She. Okay.
Luis, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Luis? Emerson? Luis. It's not like Lewis within Luis. Why do I think that's weird?
I don't know.
Fuck, I'm having an aneurysm.
I've never heard of that name before.
It's
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
I know like one.
All right. So anyway, wanted to give one more quick shout out to Leo Chavez, who reached out to us a month ago on Instagram to the show's Instagram.
The fuck, man?
And why is all this on me?
Because you're bringing it up.
Anyway, so I did apologize to him. I'm like, oh shit, sorry, I totally missed this. And we had some really good back and forth. And he was very unhappy about the fact that we chose Rebels over Clone Wars when we, did the one or the other.
Did he put us in on timeout because
Yeah. So
hey, you were well within your right to do that, sir.
Yeah, so he put us on blast a little bit, but overall he gave us a lot of props. Said he really enjoys the show. So Leo, thank you, really appreciate it.
Yes, it's a girl named me Plebs. Nice.
That was all Dave.
It was me. I don't know why. Like, you know what it was? I used the wrong pronoun, and then so sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an asshole, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I'm an asshole. So I was sitting in my therapist's office, and I said something. I said words to the effect of like, "Oh, I'll go up front, and the girls up front can get me my next appointment, right?" And then I immediately recanted, but because I was like, "Oh God, that's such an asshole thing to say." Right, like my therapist. Yeah, well, my therapist is a lesbian, and there's like, you do this. I do this thing. We may have already talked about this because I have a little bit of deja vu, but do this thing where when I talk, I'll fucking replay it in my head.
That we talked about.
Yeah, so I did that, and fucking I'm just my use of the pronoun. It just made me feel like more of an asshole. So when I was saying Luis, I was like, that's definitely her. But I said he. So that's why that was bumbling around in my head. I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't get out of that little feedback loop. It was like, no, you fucked that up, dude. You got it now. Now I'm tumbling all over it, spending minutes of your time and
your few functional brain cells to to try to sort this out. So
hey, Ricky, my cousin can't leave Alaska right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he was planning on coming home for Easter, but nope.
Sorry, bro. Not happening now.
It's called stop movement order for everybody.
Right. All right. So again, big shout outs to everybody. If you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/ATSW podcast. Anyway, because we keep getting
now you're really out of fucking sequence here.
Well, we keep getting off on these coronavirus tangents. We have a section of the show where we're going to talk all about it. So I'm just trying to keep us on the rails as much as possible. And this is our pre-warning. I know we're a Star Wars podcast. We're supposed to talk about Star Wars stuff, but we also mix in a lot of our lives into this. And this episode is going to be one of those where we mix in a lot of non-Star Wars content. Don't worry, we will get to the Clone Wars. That's going to be at the end. But the thing that the whole fucking world is talking about right now is this coronavirus. So we are going to talk about it now. And I got to say, before we get into anything else, I don't think we've ever experienced anything like this.
Fuck no.
In our lifetimes.
No.
Because, not that there's never been disasters or anything, because fuck, we lived through Hurricane Sandy, we did all of the bullshit with that, but whenever something happens like this, whenever it's some kind of a disaster or some kind of crisis or whatever, it's always localized, right? It's always just in one area. And you could drive like 2 hours in one direction and be in an area that's completely unaffected by what's going on in, ground zero. So... I mean, maybe aside from 9/11.
9/11 stopped pretty much everything that was going on in the world.
Yeah, but I mean, this is fucking crazy. The fact that the whole country and the whole fucking world, like, I don't know what it's like overseas at like the grocery stores, but holy shit, man, people are fucking out of their minds, like completely cleaning out, like all the food, all the toilet paper, and fucking everything else at grocery stores. It's fucking nuts.
The idea that you may not be able to get sundries, right? One thing that we get to enjoy here in the United States is the fact that we can go to a store within walking distance, most likely, from most places in the United States. Driving distance in some places. Yeah. In the Northeast, everything's kind of close. You can go and get whatever the fuck you want. Like, anything that you could possibly need, you can get. Now, we're world travelers, right? Now, I think I've covered 88 different countries in the world. Your number's probably right there with that.
Yeah, I've never done a count, but pretty close, I'm sure.
So, we've been to a lot of places in the world. We understand what the infrastructure is like in a lot of these places and can only imagine what it's like when you don't have access to things. Yeah. And I think... with the fear, the fucking mushroom cloud of fucking fear that was generated here in the States, it was people are more afraid of like, oh, fuck, if I'm stuck in my house, what am I going to need? I'm going to need water. I'm going to need to wipe my ass. Yeah. Like, why toilet paper? This is going to go down. This entire thing is going to go down as the fucking the TPing of fucking 2020.
Yeah, the great toilet paper disaster.
Yes. Yeah, TP for my bunghole.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. But then it has this cascading effect, and this is what's like blowing my fucking mind. It's the fact that stores started running out of food. People started stockpiling on fucking food. And then it's like people like us, like me and Kristen, we grocery shop week to week because there's no rush. We don't like to do like 2 to 3 weeks worth of grocery shopping. It's just as we need food, we go and get it. But now all these other fucking idiots all over the country are buying out all the fucking food, and now we feel like we have to go get food just so we can fucking eat. Not because we're panicking, not because we're worried about this shit, but because all these other fucking morons are buying out everything at the goddamn stores.
Do you want some TP? TP for your bunghole?
I mean, you brought up a good point last week, actually, where it's like, if you had to, you take a shit, and then you just hop right into the fucking shower.
Yeah, this shouldn't come as a surprise to us. It really shouldn't. For us in particular, because this is the same place where we live in the northeastern part of the United States, and when it snows, people lose their fucking mind. Yeah. Every time it snows. Like, guess what? It's going to snow. And it didn't. Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's the first time every time. Yeah. So this panic of every time that they're talking about snow, people are fucking in the stores buying up everything they can fucking possibly get. It's the same thing. And if nothing else, it has nothing to do with the body count, for lack of a better word. It's not about the body count of this thing, because the virus in and of itself, unless you're in that sweet spot of the I'm on the COVID-19
like
site,
the official website
Visit from the CDC.
COVID19.com.
Yeah, Devin, has the coronavirus affected the Bahamas?
No, he's
Bermuda.
Bermuda.
Bermuda. I wonder.
Yeah.
Let us know, Tevin.
You got to think like an island nation like that. They're not really their own nation, but like an island like that, it's probably like a petri dish. As soon as something gets in there,
It has no place. Yeah, it has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's like once it gets on the. But it's a tourist place, so there's people coming in and out of there.
I've taken a cruise to Bermuda before, so.
You've taken a cruise?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like 7 or 8 years ago now. That's when I was living on base housing. I was in the 150th. You were there, man.
Sure. I was not on the cruise because I will not go on a cruise ship. Oh, and by the way, this fucking COVID-19 shenanigans will guarantee that I will never go on a fucking cruise ship. Never, ever, 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 ever. I would have had to have fallen out of an airplane and gotten rescued by a cruise ship to get on a cruise ship. That's like, fuck cruises. Fuck putting 5,000 people on a fucking boat that, hey, we've got all the food and everything you could possibly want. Well, there's salsa dancing, and we're going to have shows and everything else. But when something goes wrong, the fuck, there's no fucking food. They're going to park you somewhere. They're going to fly. They're going to put you in military bases because they're quarantined. They can't fucking take them anywhere else.
Yeah.
They're losing their fucking minds.
Well, that's the worst part. It's like at the end, they're like, no, you can't come ashore. You just have to stay on the fucking boat.
Yeah, stay on that fucking boat out there that has a finite supply of fucking food and fresh water and everything else. Fuck you. Fuck your fucking cruise ships. All you fucking cruise people, enjoy yourselves because this is what you're taking a gamble at. You know what? How about you stand there and I'll throw axes at you and you probably have just as much of a chance at fucking surviving a cruise ship fucking excursion. Fuck cruises.
Wow.
I'm dude. This shit, seeing this shit on fucking on television right now with like the interviews with people that are on these fucking cruise ships and they're talking about what's starting to happen. I'm like, you lose. You want to be trapped? Like I genuinely have I have a fear of like being trapped like that. It's a control thing for me, right? Imagine that.
Yeah, so like a claustrophobic type of thing.
More as I've gotten older, it has turned into some like instances where like I've had a freak out in a fucking MRI machine, and I've had dozens of MRIs, and one time I was in an uncomfortable situation, fucking like I could spend a whole podcast talking about what happened with that, but. It's a control thing. Like if I'm on a cruise ship and there's only so many places you can go, there's fucking people everywhere, and I like if there's a storm, all right, let's make fucking 25 knots in the water and take this fucking planetoid and try and steer it away from that. No, we're gonna ride the fuck out.
Have you seen some of the YouTube videos of
yes
going through storms?
Yes. Again, why Dave won't ever go on a fucking cruise. Fuck that. This is why my dad was in the Navy and Dave's not. Because this guy would rather be in a fucking airplane. You could put me in a thunderstorm and fucking shake me like a goddamn can of beans. But I would rather do that because eventually that's going to be over. You'll either be dead or you're going to fucking land. No, that awesome. There's finality to it. As opposed to being on a fucking cruise ship and be like, oh, let's slowly bob our way through this fucking bullshit. Oh, wait, there's a disease on board? Fuck, you can't go back. So let's stay out here and get tossed all over the fucking place. And when somebody has a heart attack, gotta fly fucking helicopters out there to pick them up. Fuck. People are so fucking dumb.
We're learning a lot about Dave today.
Fuck.
All right.
No, I don't give a shit. Rick says if there's a Star Wars cruise that I'll do it. I don't give a fuck.
So they do have the Disney cruises, and they've done Star Wars themed cruises before as part of the Disney Cruise Line.
Here, I got something for that. Ready? Nope. No.
So I know last week when we were first talking about this shit, we were kind of like, oh yeah, it's just a cold, it's just the flu, and that seems to be the general belief of a lot of people. And, that still is true. It is still just another strain of virus. But I had somebody who's actually in the medical field explain to me why things are happening the way they're happening, particularly with, the shutting down of schools. All New Jersey schools, by the way, are now shut down. We just got the notification earlier this afternoon that every New Jersey school is now done. Like we
Yep.
knew about our kids' school yesterday.
Yeah.
But like I knew some schools were still open, but nope, done. Some of them are done until like mid-April.
Yeah, I think some of them were aligning with what they already had planned time off for their spring break, so they're kind of running to that point. Like, okay, we could just go do this for 2 weeks, or we could just say, fuck it, we're gonna have this downtime already progged in. Let's just fucking go to that.
Right.
So, beer me.
All right. Now, hold on. Let me get through my explanation, if you will.
Oh, yeah,
humor me for a minute. But sorry.
Fuck those storms.
So, the guy explained this to me with a graph. So I'm going to try and do this. This is really for the benefit of the YouTube audience, and for Dave, anybody listening to the audio, you're really just going to miss it. So imagine a graph, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got up and across, right? So imagine this is your typical flu season, like your 6 months of a flu season, right?
Yeah.
So
Along the x-axis.
Right. So flu season starts, you get a bunch of cases, it starts to ramp up, and then it's just kind of, goes up and down until it kind of tapers off towards the end of flu season, right?
Right.
Imagine this line up here is the capacity of our medical system.
Right.
Right? So again, if you could see it on the YouTube, that line at the top, that's the capacity of the medical system. This wavy line at the bottom is the cases of flu over the 6-month flu season, right? All fine and good. Again, sorry. Coronavirus is spreading so fast that the worry is not that people are going to, like, everybody's going to die and we're all going to turn into The Walking Dead. It's the fucking T-virus. But the fact that it's spreading so fast in such a short amount of time that we're going to have a bell like that. So, again, if you can see on the YouTube channel, you're going to get this new bell that's the coronavirus in a shorter period of time, but still spreading to about the same amount of people. So, the reason why we're closing schools, shutting down all these public events, is to try to taper this off, to try to maybe get it to stop right here instead. Because really, it's all about the capacity of our healthcare workers, right? The doctors, the nurses, the hospitals,
the ability to test.
Yeah, the ability to test. So the real issue here is not the fact that everybody's going to fucking die, because no, not everybody's going to fucking die. Percentage-wise, it's going to be higher than the flu probably, but not that much. And ultimately,
I don't even think it'll be higher than the flu. I don't think it'll even come close.
But the problem is us taxing our fucking medical, healthcare system too much in such a short amount of time, and eventually getting to the point where we're going to have to ration healthcare. Allegedly, this is what happened in Italy, where it's like, you and you don't get health care, you and you do, because we just don't have enough to go around. So they're basically having to choose who fucking dies from this thing. Because it does require a little bit more attention than, say, a normal flu. There's a lot of respiratory problems and shit.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime that you're going to deal with something that's going to spread like this. Now, full disclosure, Jason and I are not medical professionals. Right? However, I think we are uniquely trained and educated in a field like this because we go through and throughout our careers having to go through chem warfare training, like putting the gear on, understanding, dissipation rates and shit like that. This is getting containment is so important to stop the spread. Now, in a chemical warfare environment, you're worried about containing like what's been contaminated, things like that, and then that dissipates. Well, in this case, this is a self-licking ice cream cone, and it just keeps fucking. The more people are interacting, then the more it's going to spread, and it's not like, okay, now we have to go get tested. Like, I'm not feeling well. Now let me go get tested to make sure this thing is, so that now they show up in a doctor's office and fucking spread it to everybody in there.
Yeah.
Now they feel like shit, and then so forth and so on, and he creates this fucking explosion that you were talking about. Now, Italy, you bring up a thing with Italy, and this is a graph that I found on Reddit. Reddit's my new favorite thing.
Kristen was showing me that same graph this
morning.
Yeah.
There's a graph that basically shows it starts Italy and the United States off at about $1.50 within about 10 days.
Yeah.
And it goes lockstep with
like the number of cases.
The number of cases confirmed. Like, it's in this weird spot in my glasses that I can't see it. Like here and here, stupid progressive lenses. But anyway, basically, we were lockstep with how many cases were being confirmed with Italy.
Yeah.
And then throw on top of that the March Madness, the NBA season, the NHL season, where you have tens of thousands of people occupying stadiums and all those people interacting, and then the ability to fucking make this thing mushroom cloud out to basically, we've looked at a map, and that map, everything the fucking coronavirus touches is now the entirety of the United States and most of the world, except for extreme isolated cases.
Yeah.
Jason's graph looks phallic. I'm so glad we do this podcast.
I know.
But, and I guess that's to say, like, me personally, okay, I look at something like this as, this is not something to be taken lightly because of the impact that it has. It has nothing to do with the actual sickness. Right? There's been way deadlier things that have happened. The flu is deadlier every season, and this historically is going to be the same. But what really troubles me is how widespread this thing is and how quickly it is spread.
That's the fucking crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like, over the last 2 weeks, we've watched it be, like, being talked about, like, overseas and all this, and all of a sudden it's fucking here and it's fucking everywhere.
Yeah, and you're going to have drive-through fucking places that are going to be testing for this thing, and it's going to impact a lot of people. And and once it's done, it's going to be done, and we're going to learn a lot from this.
Yeah.
But for everyone, and everyone's out there, the overreaction that people like, you know what? This is fucking bullshit. I don't know why we're doing all this. It's not really that deadly, everything else. It's that part of this entity that's the social media and just media in general that makes it so dangerous. Because I'm going to tell you that this is not dangerous but it's going to have this impact, and then people will start panicking about it. That'll be the one side of it, and then the other side is the people who go like, I don't know what you're looking at. I'm an educated human being, and I can look and say that I'm not going to die from this. So all this is excess. All this is bullshit. And historically, once it's all done, it'll most likely prove that that's the case.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm looking at, we're sitting in a time, this is March, okay? What happens in March? It's March Madness.
Yeah.
Companies have millions of dollars invested, upwards of billions of dollars invested in the NCAA basketball tournament. Yeah. You have tournaments leading into the big tournament. Then you have the tournaments themselves. 10,000 people of ticket sales. You have the schools that are in
brackets, like people having their own personal brackets.
All
and everything.
All of what would be happening in Vegas with the gambling that's associated with it. And you have, like, I went and got my hair cut, and the haircut place had a fucking, like, a deal that would have been in coordination with the brackets.
Right.
That they're going to have to take that signage down. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. This does not happen just on a whim.
Yeah.
Like, these companies that are losing all this money, I can guarantee you that they're going, before they cancel the tournaments and everything else, they're not sitting there going like, this is fucking bullshit. Right? No, they're going, if people fucking show up at this arena and all those people get sick, we're fucked. Yeah. We're absolutely fucked. So, no, we cannot have a public gathering of these people. And honestly, playing in empty stadiums, like, doesn't solve it either, because all the players, look at the NBA season getting canceled, the NHL. Yeah. You're seeing players that are getting sick, and within that small community, because it's not just, you don't operate in a vacuum. Yeah. You're not on the International Space Station. The only people that are not going to be affected by the coronavirus right now is the International Space Station.
And those guys are like, yeah, we're just going to stay up here for a few more weeks.
Yeah. You know. It's like, yeah, we're just take pictures from up here. We'll let you know how it works out. Yeah. But everyone that's involved in this, they're making decisions based on, okay, this is what's prudent in this scenario. Mm-hmm. This is what fucking pisses me off. And this happened, like, you know, talk about how I was in charge of the lodge last year. Like, this year I'm the secretary of my Masonic lodge. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to have a meeting on Friday. Well, the guy in charge, the master, was adamant against having the meeting. Everyone else was canceling. There no public events, everything else. And technically, we were supposed to have this, like, official visit. This fucking bigwig, right? Mm-hmm. Retired cop. The mentality fucking just, I am bothered by it. the mentality of like, I know better than all these other people.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that serious. I don't know what people are on about. Fucking, so we're going to do this. You're going to have this meeting. We'll make sure that people don't fucking shake hands and shit like that. Okay, cool. So you, Mr. Retired Police Officer, know better than, I don't know, the United States Air Force that is trying to figure out how to fucking run operations when they can't be in buildings together.
Yeah.
You know, think of how much money that's going to cost to do that. Everyone's VPNing right now.
Yeah.
So now you have that infrastructure that's going to get affected. This is not shit that just happens.
Right.
Right? And these decisions are made that we're canceling the NCAA tournament, billions of dollars lost.
Oh yeah, look at what's happening in the economy. Look at the stock market.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And you want to be the guy that says that like, no, that's all bullshit. Right? No, we're doing this. And then fucking, you know, you want to make us think about it. Look, there's very few things in this fucking earth that are happening right now. Like, yeah, we're here doing a podcast. We're two guys. We're sitting in a room. Our families are isolated. It's, you know.
Sorry, happened? I got a text from work. I got to respond really quick.
Yeah, right? It's, I mean, but that's
it's about this. It's about the coronavirus.
It's kind of where we're at. So it's really, it comes down to those individuals that are trying to say that, all right, this doesn't make any sense. And a lot of it doesn't make sense. The runs on toilet paper and shit like that. You're like, come on. Yeah, like, let's take a moment and step back and fucking see what we really need here. But just because that may be the case doesn't mean that like it negates everything else that's supposed to be going on. Yeah. When the president of the United States, regardless how you feel about it, makes a decision that could affect the presidential primaries and all those other things, they start making decisions, stop movement orders for the military. You know, this type of shit has huge implications, way beyond people's egos.
Oh yeah.
And again, I revert back to like politics. You can say whatever you want about politics. Somebody's going to say that this is being taken advantage of by one person to make this other person look bad or whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. Mm-hmm. When I watch something like the fucking NCAA tournament that stands to make billions of fucking dollars, those people sat in a room and went, okay, we need to do this. We need to be prudent, and we need to make sure that we're doing the right thing here.
Yeah, we're foregoing these billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars because it's the right thing to do so that we can get ahead of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They made a decision, and their entire existence is based on making money.
Yeah.
Right? Politics and everything else can go fuck itself. Really what it comes down to is, like, they're willing to fucking lose all that money. I mean, gobs of fucking money. Like, even if you're one of those nerds that's not into it, you know what fucking the brackets are. Yeah. You know what March Madness is. Because you can't go anywhere. You can't walk into a fucking store without seeing something about it. Mm-hmm. And it's that, like, sport in general is so prolific that something like this, when you have massive amounts of people and how they interact, you absolutely had to do that, and you had to shut it down. Yeah. So don't be the person. Don't be the person that's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This is stupid. This is bullshit. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Cool. You be that guy. You can be that one guy, but don't think for a second that what you're doing is right. And if you have that mentality, and somebody else says, and somebody else does, and if you're in a position of authority and you decide arbitrarily make a decision like that, and then people look at that as like, well, here's the precedence. This person's not doing it, so I'm not going to do it either. That's when you break into lawlessness.
Yeah, and it's all about the containment, right? It's like, we know you're not going to fucking die from this if you get it, but we have to contain this fucking thing to, you know, take the pressure off of our fucking medical services, and at the same time keep, you know, the basic country fucking functioning. And yes, you want to be precautious. You want to, you know, avoid public gatherings and all that. But at the same time, don't fucking get into a fist fight with somebody at fucking Walmart for a goddamn case of toilet paper. I'm seeing these videos all over social media.
Yeah.
People fighting for fucking food and for fucking toilet paper. It's like, okay, you got to find a balance there, right? You got to, you know, take precautions, but don't lose your fucking minds when it comes to this kind of shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. We should see this. We should have saw this coming. You know, we just look at how we are at Christmas time. Look at how we are when it fucking
Yeah.
snows. You know, look at how I say the proverbial we, like
Right.
we are Americans. We live in the United States. We are a product of what we are, you know, and our listeners that are watching us here through YouTube, through the UK, from the UK and from Bermuda and other places around the world, they look at America and they see how we act at some stuff and they just shake their heads at us like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, mate? Yeah.
And you know what? They're right in some cases.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, the best thing that I saw.
Meanwhile, we'll sit here and drink Coronas and make fun of it.
Yeah. Well, the best meme that I saw on social media like a couple days ago was the fucking Joker meme, right? Joker from The Dark Knight.
Uh-huh.
His fucking monologue.
Yeah.
You know, the whole. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, and there's that one with the Joker. There's another one. Oh fuck, I forget what movie it was from, but it's basically along those same lines. You know that like people. Oh, the Men in Black one.
I haven't seen that one.
So in Men in Black, when Tommy Lee Jones is sitting there with Will Smith, it's that initial like recruiting thing where he goes to recruit him, and they're talking about like people are a person is good. People are fucking like they're impulsive and they're crazy and they'll fucking kill each other to fucking do shit.
That reminds me of another meme I saw a couple days ago. It's basically all it was text, and it was like, "This is why the government won't tell y'all about aliens."
Yes, I did see that. Like, this is how you fuckers act.
Yeah, you're gonna act like this. This is why the government doesn't tell you shit.
Yeah.
So.
And listen, history is going to look back on this, and you know we have the memes and we have all this other stuff, and we're going to learn a lot about how to handle something like this for the future.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a part of me that's very like, because you know it's that borderline where you start saying, okay, how do you start losing civil liberties because you want to be more safe,
right?
And we're going to see a lot of that, especially with this election coming up and everything else, and we're not going to have a political science debate about that here, but it is one of those things where if my job is to protect my family and protect my livelihood, then that's what my job is. And right now it makes more sense for I'm going to work from home.
Yeah.
And that we're going to do that for a couple of weeks. Schools that are closed for a month, they made decisions and things are going to have to change. They're going to have to look in and go like, okay, well, you're not going to have 180 days of school to graduate. In New Jersey. Like, New Jersey has these stupid fucking overly restrictive rules about their fucking how many days you have to be in the classroom and shit like that. And I think if nothing else, at the end of this, maybe they take a hard look at that and go like, maybe we need to be more flexible with our scheduling.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to be more flexible with how we're educating our children.
Right, because one of the things that came out of this was the schools. Last week they're like, in the event of a closure, we're potentially going to come up with some sort of distance learning for the students. So it's like, why are you only thinking of this now? We've had this fucking technology for decades.
Yeah.
Right? So why is it only now?
Well, and I think right now that's I'll use the word class specific, but it's more along the lines of, okay, these are the school systems that can afford that infrastructure, and then these are the ones that can't.
Right.
So Cherry Hill School District might have the ability to put a Chromebook in everybody's hand, and they can make the assumption based on demographics that they have 100% coverage with Wi-Fi. Cool. They can pull that off. A school district in Vineland probably can't.
Yeah.
You're talking about from a city size, the same, not the population density, but they don't get the same amount of funding. They don't pay the same level of taxes. So there's a lot of inconsistencies with that. We'll equate it to Ready Player One, right? Talked about it briefly.
Kristen's reading that book right now. Actually.
Yeah, Ready Player One. So they did this, his schooling, like he's went to school in I want to say the Matrix, because that's
basically what it is.
In the Oasis, right? So he attended school in the Oasis, and there was school that they had. If you met these criteria, you got free Oasis access to be able to go to school.
Yeah,
and this is how they did it, and they were able to offer it and make basically bring everybody on the same economic level, at least for their educations. Now, when you have education levels that are so different between states and different even between fucking neighborhoods in this country, that's a whole conversation for another time.
So you saw the meme. Everybody's been posting it. I posted it. The whole schools closed, NBA closed, fucking, public gatherings closed, work. Be here at 7 o'clock. That bottom text is what I just got from supervisors at work.
For PT.
No.
Wait,
just the last one. Just
what a fucking
be at work at 0700 tomorrow.
Yeah. Not everybody, even in the military, not everybody. It's very leadership dependent, right? So at that level of leadership, look, historically, my old unit, the unit that you're in now, they are fucking idiots with
the
shit
opinions
like
of
this.
Dave Martin do not reflect the opinions of Jason Roscom.
I'll confirm that because I spent my entire military existence in that unit, and I can tell you right now they're fucking idiots.
Well, I still want one more promotion in that unit, so I am not.
And that's perfectly fine, but I think that it's foolish to not have. Yeah, okay, we're trying to lead turn some of this. We're gonna make you take a CBT for working from home. Oh wow, okay, cool. But do you actually have the functionality to do it? Or like, do you have the plan together? Are you bringing in people? Are you bringing everybody in? And then, we're going to release early and then figure it out. Like they have a singular focus that is so off target. It's not so off target. It's not even in the right fucking range. And the more that I stay embedded in this active duty unit, the more I realize how fucked up it was. And it's something needs to change. Maybe this highlights it.
No comment. So, I had one other thing to add before we go. Where is it?
Before we actually go on to a Star Wars related
Oh
topic.
yeah. So this actually does bleed into Star Wars because with all of these fucking school closings, people staying home from work, and all of this stuff, Disney, being very proactive and kind of capitalizing on the situation, released The Rise of Skywalker on digital 4 fucking days early. It came out yesterday on Saturday. So it was supposed to come out on Tuesday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. So 3 days early. But yeah, I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw somebody mention like on a Reddit comment or a Facebook comment or something like, hey, I think Rise of Skywalker is up. And I went into my fucking iTunes. I'm like, oh shit, it is. Screenshot, put it up on Instagram, put it in our Facebook group. And yeah, sure as shit, Disney's like, yeah, while you guys are stuck at home, fuck, here's Rise of Skywalker early.
Fuck, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't hurt them.
No.
It was already ready. It doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, it's not like they had to wait to package it or put it, like, anything like that.
And in addition to that, Frozen 2, which wasn't supposed to hit Disney Plus for months from now, like 3 months from now, they released that early on Disney Plus over the weekend. So, again, a little bit of like consumer friendliness.
Yeah. I refer to your earlier comment about how the introverts are ruling the day.
Yes.
we are totally like, this is what we've been waiting for. The ability I can be 90% effective at my job and never leave the fucking house.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I'm glad. I will work. I will do my due diligence from working at home, and I'll be available and do what the government's paying me to do. However, it'd be so nice not to have to go interact with fucking other human beings for a couple days.
Do all your work in your underwear, not have to leave your house, not have to do that fucking hour commute.
The commute, yes, it saves the fucking commute.
Yeah, that's 2 free hours a day that you're gonna get, and hopefully I'm gonna get at some point. But yeah, no, it's
or maybe your wife told you.
I have no memory
Did your wife tell you about what had happened with the digital downloading and stuff like that?
I try not to pay attention when she talks, quite frankly. But
the opinions of Jason are not necessarily the opinions of Dave Martin or the All Things Star Wars podcast.
Right. So anyway,
that door swings both ways.
Do we have anything else to talk about with the coronavirus shit, or are we ready to actually move on with the show proper?
No, we're ready to move on.
All right, so let's roll through our weeks real quick, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll get to the main topic. So for our weeks, for me, down with the fitness. So last week I was down with the sickness. Now I'm over it. Temperatures are starting to warm up.
Yeah.
If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see that I've been running outside. I've actually started making like a running goal. Like you've known me for years.
Yeah.
When I used to be big into running, and then this person we used to run with, her and I would do like these run challenges where it's like we're gonna run 75 miles this month, or
Right.
she even did a 100-mile challenge once, which I tried and I failed miserably.
Insanity,
Yeah.
utter insanity.
But I'm starting to make challenges like that again. So for the rest of March, I'm going to try to run 30 miles this month. So I've already run 4. I'm running again tomorrow. I'm planning on doing 4 tomorrow. So I'm just kind of ticking away
Nice.
at it. And it kind of made me think. I saw Solski is doing a little bit of, cleaning up, getting healthy, losing weight. And I'm wondering if maybe we should consider doing some sort of an All Things Star Wars family, like fitness challenge. Just a friendly thing, just like, hey, let's see if we can all run a combined distance of 200 miles in a month, or if we can all lose like a certain amount of weight or something in a month. Like,
Sure.
if any of you guys out there are up for it, let me know. Hit us up in the private Facebook group. I'd love to do some kind of a fitness challenge or something. So
yeah, I think. Listen, more power to you for your running and doing stuff like that. I for one, I'm looking forward to actually being able to do more stuff outside.
Yes.
Like I was never a big workout guy.
Mm.
Like even like in high school, you had to work out for sports and shit like that. And
Sure.
but going to the gym, like it was more. I don't know. It just never was my thing, and I've never been a runner ever. Even when I was in fucking spring track for fucking a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and me and another guy would figure out how to cut the fucking routing. So we go like go into his house and be like, yeah, they're probably coming around the corner route now. Fucking get into the back of the line. Just fucking, I just hate it. I hate running. And I think for me, it really comes down to mechanics.
Yeah.
People don't realize it like, my daughter, she had Kate. No. My daughter's name is Caitlin.
I know that.
Oh, anyway, no, she was in a kinesiology class where she had to run for the class, and they were teaching her actually how to like run like more mechanically sound,
Mm-hmm.
and it has less impact on your body. That's all great stuff. They don't pay me to run anymore.
Right.
Like I don't have to fucking do it. And guess who's not going to be doing that? This guy. You want to put me on a bike for fucking 70 miles? Cool. I can do that, and I'm all about that. And only reason I say this, I don't want to take any thunder away from you because it's fucking working out is so important for your overall health and mental health and everything
Right.
else. But I will say that not everybody's workout is the same. So whatever you can do to go out there and do, like maybe you go walk a 5K. There's a great app called Couch to 5K, I think it's called.
Kristen actually was starting to use that.
Yeah. So, and it gives you like a small goals so you can work and eventually work up to a 5K.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you can do to better yourself and improve your health situation, fucking do it.
Yeah.
Get outside, rake the leaves, or go take your dog for a walk or go run 4 miles, whatever that you can do to get outside and make your health situation a little bit better, fucking do it.
Yep. Yeah, Lunar Girl said she'd be interested in some kind of a weight loss healthy challenge. So yeah, it doesn't have to be running, right? It's just, hey, why don't we collectively, as the All Things Star Wars family, try to lose 150 pounds over the next 2 months or something like that?
Maybe we could put a little chart up somewhere and fucking
just
click off some things.
Just all in good fun, no competition or anything.
So I actually used, I don't know if we ever talked about it on a podcast. We probably have, but remember that Twitter post that you made like years ago? You had made a Twitter post basically calling out fucking nerds that were using.
Oh, it wasn't a Twitter post. Like I wrote a whole article for a website.
Okay.
And basically they acted like I was a fucking child rapist.
Yeah. Well, so in context, so Jason puts out this article, and I know it got on Twitter. I think you put it out on Darth Roscom.
Oh yeah. No, I shared
on
it
Twitter.
on Twitter and all that.
So the response you had people that were like, yeah, this is a great thing. The nexus of the article was that, just because you're a nerd and you're introverted and you fucking enjoy sitting in your house playing video games doesn't mean that you can't work out and do things to take care of yourself. You know, you
Exactly.
don't have to be a fat bastard.
Right.
You can go and take care of these things. But the fucking fat bastards that were out there that took such offense to the fact that you were calling them out, it was, I mean, I don't think Jason's been really on Twitter since. Not because Jason can't handle that, because we know, if you've been listening to podcasts for half a minute, you know Jason can handle that, but just the level of fucking hate that came out of that, just by saying something like, hey, you can be healthier.
Yeah.
Like you can go out there and you can do it. Just because you're in this little stereotype doesn't mean that you can't fucking take care of something.
And I'll just say this, we try not to talk about politics on the show, but from the time that you met me to the place where I am now, I have done a massive shift in my political beliefs.
Yeah.
That article was the catalyst for everything. That's what started my transition, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like that, and the reaction to that, and the way people who I used to kind of have similar trains of thought with, the way they reacted to that opened my eyes. And it was like the Wizard of Oz. When she comes out of the fucking house, everything was black and white, and then all of a sudden everything's in color. It's like, oh shit. Like, I didn't realize I could see like this before. And it was, that incident is what started.
I remember it very clearly. And in class today, I'm finishing up my semester, and in one of the somebody was doing something in one of the research projects, and I used that example.
Oh, did you?
That example, yes. Yeah, I did a whole fucking I did a whole thing on it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, because it's a great example of what the kind of the power of social media in that aspect, and how a positive message can be construed to something so negative.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, so aside from that, for my week, I've got in here fucking Judas. So last week I was talking up, watching Clone Wars with my son Adam, right? And how it's the thing that we've been doing together. You know, it's like a way for he and I to spend time together finally, right? Not long after we recorded that episode, he's like, "Hey, I really want access to Disney Plus." He's like, "Do I need to buy my own account or anything?" We're like, "No. We can just create a login for you on your family thing." He's got a Chromebook. He doesn't have an actual laptop or anything, but he's got a Chromebook. And we're like, "Yeah, you could probably watch it right on your Chromebook." We set it up for him and everything. Fucking, he's like, "Oh, great! This is awesome." Friday, we had a real busy day that day. Like, we went out, did stuff as a family all day Friday as soon as the kids got home from school. So we didn't have a chance to watch Clone Wars on Friday. But I was telling Adam, I'm like, "Hey, man, don't forget we got Clone Wars. We'll try to watch it at some point tomorrow." 2 or 3 p.m. yesterday, Saturday. Adam comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, I watched the new Clone Wars. It was pretty good." I'm like, "What the fuck? Dude, we were doing that together." So
nope, apparently he wanted to see it.
Yeah, so fucking Judas watched it without me. So now I'm all like, "Oh, man, that was like our thing. That was what we do."
One incident does not a fucking thing break.
All right, I guess.
I heard it great as we're being all fucking. This is a weird episode. I think we're gonna listen back to it. We're like, "God, this is fucking strange where we went with this." But
yeah,
I heard a great saying. Somebody at Lodge had used it. That your past is supposed to be a rudder, not an anchor.
Ooh, good quote.
Which, yeah, right? There's very, you don't have to know anything about boats to understand what that kind of impact is. So There you go. Fucking take that, everyone. Go ahead and take that out there.
That's wise. You should be like an owl in a graduation cap when you say that.
Shit, what, licking a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I don't know how many people would get that reference.
3. I don't know.
That's an old school reference. I remember that shit like it was yesterday.
All right, who? I don't know. Who wouldn't get that?
I don't know. Anyway, my last thing from my week. Did you know O.J. Simpson was on Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole thing when he got on Twitter.
Not only is he on Twitter, he posts all the fucking time on there, and sometimes he's a massive fucking troll on Twitter.
Oh yeah, he is.
Holy shit, dude!
The dude is such a fucking attention whore.
Well, and that's the weird thing, right? So you would think for a guy who murdered his wife and her boyfriend in cold blood and fucking got away with it,
yeah,
and then had a massive fucking spotlight on him from then on out,
right?
Even went to prison again for some shit, and then gets out on parole. Thanks his lucky stars for that. You think he would kind of lay low, you know?
Nope.
Let's not bring any attention. No,
Nope.
he is fucking everywhere on Twitter. I didn't realize it until this coronavirus shit happened because he put a picture of himself in front of fucking Costco with like a medical mask on, like rolling a cart into Costco, and somebody pointed out he wasn't wearing gloves, you know? And it just
No, the best one of that was him, and he had posted something like corona related, and somebody put as a response, I have a better chance of getting murdered by you than getting the coronavirus.
Right. So the last thing that I saw while the corona thing was really ramping up was a video that he put up of like stacks of $100 bills, and he had some of that fucking Lysol spray, and he's spraying them. He's going, you can't be too careful. Spraying like stacks of fucking $100 bills.
Where the fuck does he get
I'm
money?
like, wow.
Where does he
man.
get money?
Well, part of the whole, you know, the Goldman suing him and everything, they can't touch his NFL retirement. Like, no matter what, whatever kind of, you know, fucking settlement they get, they cannot touch his NFL retirement for whatever reason.
Huh.
So,
well, I mean, at some point, you know, the justice system being what it is, they can't fucking penalize you to the point where you can't have. Yeah, this is how he made his living. Yeah, you know, he was entitled to this retirement, and he probably has child support to pay it up until some point. Although his kids are probably old now, right?
Yeah, none of his kids are any.
It's been a minute.
Like 25.
It's been a minute. You know, it's fucking funny. Is like old person shit, right? Is when you're thinking about things that seem like they weren't that long ago, and they were fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah, that Simpson trial. Like, that whole OJ thing started in, like,
94.
93 or 94?
94.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Because I remember the verdict came out in 95 when I was in my first and only semester of college after high school. But, yeah, it was going on for, like, 2 years before that. Because, you know, the whole chase and the Bronco.
It might have been 93. I know if you look in my high school yearbook, there was some OJ stuff in there, like you know how it has world events and shit like that. So it was. I thought the Bronco thing was in there, and I graduated in 94.
Yeah,
94.
94. Now the fucking crazy thing about this too, not to dwell on this, but you know, when he was in prison the second time, when he was, you know, when he had the robbery and all that.
Yeah, trying to get his memorabilia back.
Yeah. But when you would see like pictures of him going to his parole meetings and shit, like he looked terrible. Like, he looked like he was probably going to have a fucking heart attack and die in prison. He looks fucking great now.
Yeah.
He's fucking spry, and he's just fucking... He looks fucking fantastic.
He was a world-class athlete.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, he got fucking better mechanical genetics than most of us.
Yeah.
So, as long as he doesn't fucking treat his body like a fucking garbage dump.
Yeah. So, obviously, I follow O.J. Simpson on Twitter now. And it's
purely for intrinsic value.
It's
so I don't
weird.
I don't follow him on Twitter, but I'll see because now I swim in the fucking oasis that is Reddit.
Yeah.
And I'll see the fucking OJ Simpson shit come up in there.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that well known. I didn't know a thing about him being on Twitter until the coronavirus shit happened, and I saw somebody repost the him with no gloves on going into Costco with a doctor's mask.
Yeah, it was a whole fucking thing, man.
So anyway, that's my week. So what about you?
Is that what we're doing? We're doing a weeks because you fucked up the whole order of things again? God.
I refuse to respond to
that. My week really consisted of fucking trying to finish up school. Blissfully. It was like a weight had been lifted off my fucking shoulders that calculus, I'm done with fucking calculus.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm done. I better be.
Did you pass your final?
No, well, here's the thing. I passed my final. Right, so I'm pretty sure that C's are going to get degrees in this aspect, and I'll take that fucking C and be fucking thankful for it, because I mean I submitted my final. I had like a 49. I'm like, I know I did better than that. Actually, like for whatever reason, the second half of the material I picked up better than the first half. Oh yeah, I see. You're doing the pee-pee dance over there. I can tell.
Yeah.
If you hadn't taken so long with your week, you could have peed by now.
Motherfucker, you're gonna criticize me for talking a lot?
Anyway.
Really? Is that where we're going with this?
I think per capita, I probably talk way more than you do on the podcast.
You think?
regardless, so honestly, my week was just finishing up school, dealing with coronavirus, and getting ready to work remotely and shit like that. I've got 2 semesters left.
Nice.
2 semesters. So
full semesters or just like half semesters?
well,
Like-
so with Penn State, all the colleges in the area, I think most of the colleges in the country have gone and basically gone to online only for the rest of their schedule. So like Kate, she was home for spring break. No, Kate. The answer is no. Anyway, brought her home from spring break, but she's actually going to be online only for the rest of her semester. And unfortunately for her, which really, really sucks, and it's an unfortunate byproduct of everything that's going on, she was supposed to study abroad this summer.
Oh.
They canceled it. They canceled it
yeah.
because she was supposed to go to one of the universities in England over in the UK, and she was supposed to be working with them and working with student athletes and stuff like that. Yeah, they canceled it. So that's really disappointing, and I really feel bad for her that she won't get the opportunity. But those opportunities will come.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in at Embry-Riddle. My program is online only, so I don't reap any benefit at all from any school situation. Like none of the grades are going to be affected. I've got a week off, and then I start the next semester. So it's 9 weeks each semester. So I've got 2 semesters left. I got 2 classes that are like degree oriented, so that'll be cool. And then I have my capstone, and I'm done.
That's great.
Fucking finally.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Long time in the making.
Fucking yeah. 17 years.
Yeah.
Lots of people go to college for 17 years.
Fuck.
They're called the janitors that
7
work at
years
the
of
college.
down the toilet. Animal House. One of the greatest movies ever made.
I got you. All right, then go pee. What the fuck, dude?
Are you done with your week?
Sure.
All right. So,
I had 2 bullet points.
Okay. So that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will get back with our main topic. We're actually going to talk some Star Wars, believe it or not. So until then, we will be right back after this word from our sponsors.
I actually have to pee as well. So
Okay. Well, I'm going first.
Obviously, you got up. So a friend of mine actually had texted me the entirety of the Men in Black quote, and it is: "A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat, and 15 minutes ago, you knew that humans were alone on this planet." It's a good quote. Good movie. Men in Black. Wasn't a fan of the sequels. Generally speaking, if it's not Star Wars related, I'm not a sequel guy. For some reason, they seem. Sometimes sequels are just ways. They're just money makers. They just want to make money. Cue the Fast and Furious. Fucking the Ocho, I guess, is coming out for fucking Fast and Furious, and I've never seen one of them. Not one. I think that's a good thing. But anyway, fucking my Corona. I almost said, now what do I click? Let's catch up in the chat here. Yeah, Jason's ATSW weight loss. How you doing? Contact him directly with some of that shit, because honestly, I am not going to be like, I'll find ways to participate, but dealing with pain on a daily basis is tough. It's a challenge. I know, Lunar Girl had mentioned something with some defective joints, and I know I have that, and dealing with pain is one of my greater issues. So you got to find ways to be able to work around that. You can't just sit inside on a nice day. You got to go outside, and you got to do it. Do it. You all right?
I am now. There was one more Corona in the house, so I only brought 5 out. So
The fuck?
yeah.
Did we drink 5?
No, we've only drank 4, so there's one more for each of us.
Oh, cool.
If you're so inclined.
I am inclined. Oh, I needed some alcohol. It's been that kind of week.
Indeed. So I just want to state that anything that I said about my wife was all in jest. So, you know, it's all a joke. Run for days. Whew. What'd I miss? You'll be here at 7 tomorrow, right? Yeah, yeah. Hear that helicopter? Where'd that come from?
I saw Chewbacca sitting in a Millennium Falcon.
Bronco Fett just posted a picture of his tie. See that?
Nice. You know, I have a really nice Stormtrooper tie that my son got me, and every time I've like found an occasion to wear it, I'm like, this is going to be wholly inappropriate for this fucking occasion, and I end up not wearing it.
Yeah.
It's a true Penn State is out for the year. I know April 6th is what I heard last. Your kid goes there. Is that what they're saying? Because that would thank that'd be a whole nother thing. I feel bad. Like there's a lot of huge implications to that. So if you're like my daughter, she's concerned. Like, you know, she's got student loans, and she's paying to be in residence. She pays for a meal plan. So
oh yeah, like, does she get a rebate on that?
exactly. Well, like, we don't know, and kind of you have that moment when, like, as a parent, you're like, you're glad that your kid thought of something adult quicker than you did.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that my daughter was talking about. She's like, what the fuck's going to happen with this? She said it more eloquently than that. Like, that's how dad talks. But it's a great point, and something that you need to be spamming the fucking bursar's office at your local university. If you're paying for something like a meal plan, how are you going to get that money back if you can't go on campus to eat?
Yeah.
There's a whole, not only did you already pay for that, now you're going to have to pay extra money to fucking to eat.
Yeah. Speaking of, you know, our kids,
it's not a victimless crime.
Our kids and the way we talk and the way they talk. So I told you Rob and I went to a Magic tournament last night.
Uh-huh.
We were playing on different ends of the hall, but I could kind of hear like his conversation a little bit with his opponent.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I heard Rob drop an F-bomb as part of the
Get
conversation.
the fuck
I'm
out!
like, did I just hear that?
That's really funny. Getting in a whole conversation about kids using cussing appropriately.
Right.
Now Rob's fucking 16, right?
17.
Fuck.
Oh no, I had a far worse mouth when I was.
Oh
like 12.
God, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
You don't even want to think about that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was the first time I'd ever heard any of my kids use any kind of like, you know, foul language, and I'm just like, and I'm not even 100% sure that's what I heard, but I'm 75% sure. I'm like, ow, wait a minute, did I just hear that? And you are welcome, Tom. We're here for you, buddy.
That hurt.
You all right? You gonna make it?
Yep.
All right. We ready to get back to it?
Yep.
All right. 30 seconds of silence. Starting. You can bring that up before we get into Clone Wars. Starting now. And we're back. So, before we get into our main topic, you wanted to show me something, or show the audience something, or talk
So
about something.
listen, we did Ahsoka last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Also check out the subreddit on. Anyway, so I didn't bring in the hard copy of the book, or the flaccid copy that I have here, but
Wait, you have 2 copies of Ahsoka?
no, I just have
hardness off?
I just have the flaccid copy.
Okay. Jesus.
But I want you to show me on this doll where it says young adult. Anywhere on that book, I want you to tell me where it says young adult novel.
It does not look like it anywhere. So
Yeah, it's interesting because we talked about it last week. Listen back to the episode last week. I don't want to harp on it, but I did want to bring up a point that when we initially talked about Ahsoka, it wasn't one of those books that we thought was in that category. Like the Princess Leia book, we knew was a young adult one. Yep. The Padme fucking book was a young adult.
That new Scavenger book we knew was a young adult novel.
But this doesn't have any indications at all that it's a young adult novel.
Nowhere.
So apparently it's just written that way.
Right.
Or it's, and even the print's a little bit larger, which is great for my fucking blind ass. Yeah. But
I guess it should have been a dead giveaway, because the style, it's not like your normal novel size paperback. It's a little bit bigger, font's a little bit bigger.
Like honestly, this is like aside from the
sacred text.
Aside from the Legends material that we already have, and most of it's either like in paperback or hardcover. Disney, a lot of the books that have come out, that like this has been kind of a paperback format that's been available. Sure. It hasn't really been dependent on the type of novel that it is. But in my defense, there is nothing on this fucking book that says it's a young adult novel.
Oh yeah, even when I bought the audiobook on Audible, it never said young adult or anything like that. It wasn't until I just happened to be looking up facts on Wikipedia where it's like, oh yeah, this young adult novel written by E.K. Johnston. I'm like, wait a minute. But then it all clicked. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, that makes sense based off of, the way it was written and the way it seems a lot of it is geared towards kids. Whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't call it false advertising, but they should make it a little more apparent.
It didn't hurt us.
Yeah. No, it was, again, there was some good canon to be had.
Show me on the doll.
Right. So, Clone Wars. So, since the last time we talked about Clone Wars, we have had 2 episodes come out.
Right.
That would be episode 3 of season 7, On the Wings of Kiridax. And then episode 4, Unfinished Business. Fortunately or unfortunately, I guess depending on your opinion of the character and the storyline, both of these episodes are a continuation of the Echo storyline. The storyline that we've been going through since the debut of this new season.
Let's just get into it.
Okay. So,
ready?
Yeah. Sure. This episode 3, On the Wings of Kiridax, I have 3 bullet points in my notes. What?
I'm going to read the thing.
Oh,
the fucking thing. That's why I said ready. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to talk about it.
Sorry.
Trapped. It's a trap. I almost did that whole thing as Akbar. On an unsanctioned mission to rescue ARC Trooper Echo, General Skywalker, Captain Rex, and the Bad Batch travel to Seiko Minor, headquarters of the Techno Union. After a harrowing encounter with the natives, our heroes infiltrate the city of Perkal, only to find themselves surrounded by Wat Tambor's forces. It legitimately got hung up in the progressive part, and the word went, and I fucking read it that way. I will read anything on the fucking teleprompter.
Oh, so...
And I almost said the city of Pork Roll.
And nobody outside of New Jersey would understand what that is.
Yeah.
So...
Not Taylor Ham. Pork Roll.
So, the last episode, they got to the base of the Techno Union. They found Echo. He was plugged into the fucking Matrix.
Right.
He really looks like Neo with the fucking all the shit going into his head and all that stuff. And, yeah, that was where that one ended. This one is all about them just breaking him out at this point. That's really all this whole third episode is. It's them trying to blast their way out of this fucking Techno Union base. Then they get to where those fucking locals were, and with the weird translating and everything.
Right.
And it's just basically them telling these locals, like, hey, Techno Union guys are coming. We know you were trying to stay out of the war, but look what they did to our friend. And they wheel Echo out, and he's all like,
yeah, it's got a fucking flathead screwdriver for an arm.
Yeah, it's got like all the fucking weird shit in his head, and apparently they're like, yeah, fuck it, yeah, that's messed up. We'll join you in this war.
Yes, we will go get slaughtered.
Yeah,
like you have a fucking choice in the matter.
Mm-hmm. At one point throughout this episode, I wrote a note, maybe the Bad Batch isn't as cool as I thought, because their whole, they just started to get played out at this point, right? Like, it was very just like, okay, we've seen this before. It would have been great if they'd been in like 2 episodes and then gone. But because they were in all 4 of these episodes, their shtick runs a little dry throughout the course of this 3rd and 4th episode. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because they fucking, it's terrible. It's
they were
fucking
fun.
terrible. It's terrible.
I thought they were fun in the first couple episodes.
Terrible.
Right. But yeah, again, their shtick starts to get pretty old starting in this episode.
I think that this was, we were really hoping that this was going to be the last Echo episode, which, spoiler alert, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But the shtick is played out. Even to start in the beginning with it, that is an unsanctioned mission or whatever. Like, I really, the entirety of this mission on, they don't. All right, it's a whole thing for Anaxis, right? So Anaxis is the Republic shipbuilding.
Right, because that's where it all started, was because they were losing ground there.
Right, so they needed to be able to have their facilities to fucking be able to build their ships and shit like that. So less of the fucking Bad Batch and less of fucking introducing new droids and less of this fucking interaction and more of getting and actually getting the forces to an access to fucking take the base back. Like, they need this fucking base. There's a whole thing about, like, oh, it's the logarithm that's being used, and they unplug Echo out of the fucking logarithm, and now it's this is an unfortunate reality of what our experience has been with the Clone Wars.
Right. And
even though we're seeing it here for the first time with everyone else, I unfortunately am not, my buy-in is very, very small.
Yeah.
So small that I won't even fucking make an effort. Like, I won't make an extreme effort to watch it on the bigger screen. Like, I'm fine with watching it on my phone.
Yeah, I went into the season with high hopes.
Yes.
And this is, of course, managing the expectations.
Right.
We had the expectations.
Because we're so good at that.
Right. And it's just, like, this episode in particular, of all of these first 4 episodes, this episode 3 really felt like filler. It was a lot of filler, a lot of, like, nothing happening. Just, like, they could have cut out this whole episode, and it would not have changed a thing. They could have just gone from them getting Echo out of that fucking chamber to them immediately getting off of that planet and starting episode 4, and it wouldn't have made a fucking bit of difference.
Yeah, you could have saved one.
Yeah. And considering that this fucking season is only 12 episodes, we're already a third of the way done, and nothing has happened.
Yeah, I am disappointed.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed, and we're going to talk about episode 4, and episode 4 I think was better.
Yes,
than episode 3.
I do agree. I have more notes for that.
Yeah, there was definitely more to take out of episode 4, but I think the stuff to take out of episode 4 had nothing to do with the fucking clones,
right?
At all.
Right, you're talking more the Anakin stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I took from.
No, I agree.
Anything. So
I got nothing else for episode 3.
Yeah, to finish off episode 3, it did end with like a bit of a foreboding thing where. They got Echo off the fucking planet, and Rex is like, "Oh yeah, it'll be just like old times," and Echo's like, "Yes, just like old times."
So
very foreboding. Which,
fuck you, and that whole, not you in particular, because you have nothing to do with this, but fuck Filoni right? Who otherwise has been fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where, okay, you got this filler episode. Now we're going to have this like a little cliffhanger for like, oh, what could that have meant? And we talked about this a little bit last week. You know, we briefly touched on this fucking episode. And that's the only thing that I got out of this entire episode was like, okay, what is he talking about?
Yeah, like, is there some kind of programming there?
Yeah, did he get a fucking glimpse into the fucking chip and saw some Order 66 shit happen or whatever? Spoiler alert. Didn't fucking do shit.
Yep.
Nothing. Created this fucking this uncertainty with whoever it is.
Yeah.
You know, which you know.
Well, yeah. What does it say at the beginning of episode 4?
Reunited! With the help of the Bad Batch, Captain Rex rescues his old friend, ARC Trooper Echo, from the Techno Union. The Separatist loss of Echo's strategic algorithm provides a chance for the Republic to turn the tide in the battle for Anaxis. However, Echo's horrifying experience behind enemy lines leaves lingering questions of his true loyalty and uncertain future.
Yeah, so they're stirring the pot again, and the episode even starts out with some distrust, right? Especially amongst the Bad Batch people. They're like, I don't know if we can trust this guy.
All right. So here's like, here, ready? We're gonna play act this out a little bit, okay? And you're totally unprepared for this, which is gonna make it perfect. All right. So here we go. Ready? Like, I don't trust you.
You can trust me.
Yeah, see see how painful that was?
Yeah.
That was seconds of just nothing, right? That's what this is.
Yeah.
The Bad Batch suddenly is like, yeah, we don't trust this guy. Like, no, yeah, we just unplugged him from the fucking Matrix. No, like, stream of consciousness, no nothing. Just all of a sudden, like, boom, we don't trust this guy.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why don't you trust him? Did he do something? Did he allude to something that may sow some distrust? Is there some huge plot turning point that maybe Echo could have been still fucking when he plugs back into the Matrix? Maybe bad shit's going to happen. Who knows?
Right.
Because they obviously don't give a shit. They didn't even fucking try. Like, it was it's such a weak part of the fucking plot of this fucking 4-episode shit show that there's so many things that you could have done. You had all this fucking extra time.
Yeah.
You had all this extra time to make, all right, I get it. You had the animation done already. You had these episodes in the can. Cool. Got all this extra fucking time to work out a storyline that's going to fucking be so good, it's going to like be a kicking in fucking nuts when it's over. That's what you fucking want. Instead, what they chose to do is they chose to start with 4 episodes of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You've got out of 60 minutes, right? What are they? 25-minute episodes?
Like 21 to 25. Yeah.
All right, so like let's just call it 20 minutes 4 times. That's what? 80 minutes?
Yeah.
80 minutes. Out of that, I don't think there's 10 minutes of fucking material that's actually worth the fucking time of this. After seeing this episode, it was better than episode 3.
Yes.
However, I was really, I'm like, okay, here it is. This is where we're going to fucking move on from this, and we're going to fucking do something that's going to further the story, further why are we having season 6 or season 7 rather?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Let's show Ahsoka. Let's show all this shit in the fucking previews. Instead, we're gonna start with this shit. Yeah. Were they not ready?
I don't know.
Because they had all this fucking extra time. What were they working on? That's what kills me about this whole fucking thing.
Well, and that's what's making me hope, I guess, that the rest of this season they're gonna really ramp it up. I'm hoping that these first 4 episodes were those, unfinished episodes that we kind of saw, that they're like, all right, fuck it, let's just finish these while we work on the good shit.
But it doesn't make any sense. You fucking had the good shit. Like, you didn't want to bring the animators back on? Oh, we can't hire those animators back, so we have to use whatever we have fucking done already. None of it makes any sense. I get it if you had the storyline and the storyline was so good. It just had to be seen.
Yeah.
And then maybe, even just talking it out for the benefit of the podcast, now I got you in front of me, maybe it's because Echo and the fucking and Fives and everyone that was into Clone Wars had this relationship with those
Yeah.
clones and excuse me.
Yeah, that's what I
Maybe
was
that's
thinking.
what we're missing. Maybe or maybe that's what I'm missing at least.
No, I think you're right because I feel the same way. Like, I don't give a shit about Echo.
No,
Like, I don't care that he's alive. I wouldn't have cared if he was still dead.
no. Then
You know?
and the aspect of using fucking Echo, like, all right, cool, using the clone programming for a fucking corporal. He was a corporal.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have corporals do? That's an E fucking 2, E3. What do we have them doing? Like for reals, yo.
Waxing the floor?
You're going to be a bullet catcher. That's your fucking job. There's no grand plan here.
Yeah.
We have never seen an aspect of the fucking clones where it's like, okay, here's this fucking 6-man team, and this 6-man team is specialized and they do all this fucking training. There's no the Navy SEALs or the Bad Batch that they're supposed to be representing. That's what you have. They're the free thinkers. Like, why would they think that in the fucking brains of this clone is the ability to fucking be better tacticians than the fucking Jedi at this point? It's a bridge too far for me.
I think the only reason was going back to the first episode was how he helped Rex create all of these strategies. Which, how can you create strategies like years in advance?
Rex is a captain. As I'm getting upset by it, I'm saying it out loud. Oh, I'm sorry. Corporals are E4s. Wow. Okay. Still bullet catchers. Sorry. I mean, the reality of this is what the clones are. They're fucking infantrymen. They go out there. They execute the orders that are given to them.
Yeah.
If you're a captain, and that captain has some fucking some operational and some tactical level of expertise, but the overall strategic level shit is coming from the fucking guys upstairs. It's not coming from a goddamn captain, right? Yeah. And all the fucking captains out there that think they're hot shit and they know what the fuck they're doing, like, they're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
They're idiots. They're barely into a fucking one term of their contract, and great, you have some fucking shiny shit on your shoulder, or you have a couple of stripes. That doesn't mean a goddamn thing in the reality of what the military is. Now, again, this is coming from somebody who spent over 2 decades in the military.
Right.
So, obviously, they're not playing to my audience, but that's where I'm at with this fucking show. I'm grasping at straws. I want this to mean something to me.
Yeah, and I think that you hit the nail on the head. I think this is more for the people who are fans of the entire series up to this point. We just don't have that attachment to these characters. It's just the way it is. But I did have some bullet points for this episode. One, the Mace Windu speech when him and Obi-Wan drop into the that fucking whole legion of droids.
Yeah.
And he basically makes this fucking great speech, which would have sounded so much better if Samuel L. Jackson was actually doing the voice of Mace Windu.
Did we figure out who actually did the voice?
We've looked him up
before.
I
thought I recognized it. Mace Windu.
Yeah, he made this great speech to the droids, basically telling them, "I've killed thousands of your people. I'm giving you the chance to surrender." It was actually pretty funny. He had a really good delivery with that.
Blast him.
Yeah, and they obviously didn't take the bait. The best part about this whole episode, which we kind of alluded to already, was the Anakin part. Because Admiral Trench, which is that fucking buggy admiral that we've been seeing, he was even in season 6 of Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin busts into his fucking office there, and he just beats the fuck out of him because they're trying to get the last codes. Oh god, with the fucking codes.
Can you please, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean,
that's exactly what I thought.
That's a combination idiot has on his luggage, right?
Yeah.
Then what bothered me the most about that whole sequence is okay, boom, ray shielding, right?
Yeah.
All right, you got ray shielding up, but you're still gonna have fucking sliders, and that a slider is going to represent a number, and that slider being in a position doesn't necessarily represent the number that they're saying. It's like, how does he know?
Right.
How does he know what 7 is when the slider's like, oh, this is about 3/4 of the way down. I guess that's 7. What the fuck? I just...
yeah, that whole sequence was just come on, man. That's really written for kids. That has no adults in mind. Because as I'm watching it now, I'm like, this is fucking retarded.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Like
5.
they went full retard with this fucking sequence. And of course they couldn't get the last number, right? He's reading the numbers. It's 3, 7.
He's a fucking Jedi.
2.
If I tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really quickly, say again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, boom. There's the information.
Yeah.
Done. Not 1 potato, 2 potatoes,
Right.
3. And why, if the so Echo is supposed, he's got his fucking robot arm, right? Go Gadget fucking plugs into the thing.
It's a flathead screwdriver.
Right.
Is all it is.
He shoves it into this fucking thing, right? All right, and he's fucking computing. He's holding his head. He's like, oh yeah, all these calculations, right? in the fucking the glob of fucking fat that's running the electrical signals. Like, it's the most underpowered fucking. This is a clone. Like, I don't understand where he's fucking. He's like going into these fucking programs, right? Like Neo style in the Matrix.
Right. He's the one.
He apparently is the one, and he's the worst one.
Right.
And I just can't. I just can't. I was going somewhere with that.
Yeah, no, that was all painful. But
Terrence Carson is the voice of Mace Windu.
That's fantastic. So Anakin gets to the quarters of
He was on Living Single
of Admiral Trench, and he's trying to get the last digit for the code, right? And Trench is like, "Yeah, fuck you, I ain't giving it to you. You're a Jedi. You're not going to do anything to me." Well, Anakin, being Anakin, which we've seen hints of this in other episodes of the Clone Wars, is like, "Nah, motherfucker." Zzz, cuts off like 3 of his arms on his left side.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh shit!" And he's got the lightsaber right up to his throat.
And he says the words, "I don't have those weaknesses."
Yeah.
Like, because the fucking the bug guy was
Admiral
like,
Trench.
Admiral Trench was like, "Yeah, no, you're a Jedi. What the fuck are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, you're all weak because you have compassion and you're not going to hurt anything."
Yep.
And,
Zoop. I don't have those weaknesses.
yeah.
Fuck.
Yes.
More of that. Let's get some more of that. Fucking
Right.
bottle that up in some fake fucking lime juice and fucking serve that with your Corona. Because that shit is fucking. That's what I'm paying for with these episodes. That's the shit that I want to see. I want to get fucking. Let's get dark.
Right.
Let's get to the point where fucking he's going to slaughter younglings and fucking do all this shit.
And I hope this was just a preview of what we have coming for the rest of the season, because that was great. Seeing that side of Anakin and him, getting this information out of him. And by the way, after he gets the last fucking digit, he fucking kills the dude. Yeah,
Yep.
the dude like came at him with like a fucking taser or something.
Yeah.
And Anakin's just like,
Whoop.
sticks his lightsaber right through his fucking chest.
Yeah, and then on the way out, he's like, fucking, "Hey, nice talking to you, dude."
Yeah, as he's like twitching on the floor, like,
fucking great.
yeah.
Great. Again, 4 episodes of this, less than 10 minutes of fucking content that I would deem worthy of this final season release.
Mm-hmm. So, before I get into this last note, I will say the graphics in this entire episode are really good. There was a sequence where the A-Wings were doing like a bombing run on their fucking station. Looked beautiful. Good visuals throughout the course of this fucking episode.
Y-Wings.
Did I say A-Wings?
You did.
I meant
Remember?
Y-Wings.
Because if we're going to really delve deep into this episode, right, we're talking about how he called upon Gold Leader to go ahead, and the Gold Squadron
right.
is the Y-Wings.
Yeah, no,
That's good Star Wars shit there. That I can appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and it was really good. It was, and a lot of their battles and everything, good graphics, good visuals, just not a good storyline to go with it. But towards the end, well, at the very end, the Bad Batch they're like, "All right, well, we're out. We're loners, Dottie. We're rebels. We can't be tied down."
God.
And they proposition Echo.
Oh, it burns.
They proposition Echo to join them, which was telegraphed from the very beginning of the fucking episode, because he had their fucking skull on his fucking armor throughout this whole episode, which is the same skull that they all have. And then they're like, "Oh, well, you should come join us." And I'm like, I just kind of assumed he was already with you because he's got the fucking skull. And
he doesn't look like the rest of the clones. And he was, oh, by the way, he wasn't in fucking Rebels. So.
Yeah. So.
The fucking salute. The fucking lame ass.
Absolute.
Like oh, fuck you and your fucking salute.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Fuck. Oh, it hurt so bad. That I was like, that was like Lamosaurus Rex right there for me. I was like the whole fucking saluting Captain Rex and
Well, that kind of
like,
ties into like with Rebels. You know, they did it in Rebels when Rex and whatever the two clones that he was with
listen,
met Kanan and they saluted him. And...
when again, this comes down to fucking the jadedness of a fucking military career, right?
Right.
When have you ever rendered a salute that would be like it's like it's shit for the fucking movies.
Well, this isn't the U.S. military,
It's
This
shit
is...
for the fucking movies, and it was just lame. It was lame. It was lame to me. I don't like it. I didn't like the Bad Batch. I didn't like anything about these fucking clones. This, again, the only interactions that actually were worth the shit was fucking Padme and fucking Anakin having their little fucking secret rendezvous.
Right, and Obi-Wan like being like, yeah, I know what's up.
Obi-Wan having, basically letting him know, like, I know what you're fucking doing in there.
Yeah.
Putting Rex in a position where you got to lie for you,
Mhm.
right? So that and fucking Anakin basically torturing and fucking killing a prisoner.
Yeah.
That's it. 4 episodes, like you said. We're a third of the way through this fucking season 7, the final season of Clone Wars, and they've wasted it. I feel like my time has been wasted.
To an extent, sure. And again, I hope this is just them saying, yeah, we already had these fucking episodes half done. We just figured we'd finish these and then make new ones after this. If next episode it's fucking Echo and the Bad Batch off having adventures, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
If Ahsoka is not in the next episode, I will not watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I will vote with my lack of participation.
All right.
I will do the podcast. I will do my due diligence. I will read online a synopsis of the fucking episode, but it has gotten to the point now where it's like, it's time to fucking prove why you're doing this.
Right, because that's the thing.
What have we got? What are you doing right now to prove to us as Star Wars fans that this is the season that you deserved to close out Clone Wars? Again, I'm not a huge Clone Wars fucking purist. Obviously, we've many times over have talked about how Clone Wars, the only connection we really have to Clone Wars is the fact that our kids watch it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And I'm glad people have those connections. That's fucking great. But when you get an opportunity like this, like we thought this was like Filoni and everyone else was like, this thing is done. We're never going to get a chance to finish telling the story. Now you're getting an opportunity and you're phoning it in.
Yeah.
You're phoning it in with the first 4 episodes. Like at some point, please, podcast listeners and everyone else out there, tell me what I'm missing. Because once we got into late seasons, like season 4, 5, and 6, 4 and 5 especially in Clone Wars, I was into it.
Yeah, they were good.
There was a lot of good shit there, and I haven't seen all of season 6 yet, but I'm almost there, and I would much rather rewatch stuff from 4, 5, and 6 because I feel like as a Star Wars fan, I was like, man, there's a lot of good shit here. And which made us like we were at full froth. Like let's go. It's fucking let's wow me.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't have to do that. Apparently the people that they feel like, hey, we're gonna placate to this audience, they're relying on their connection to a fucking random clone who was plugged into the Matrix.
Yeah.
Whatever. Lame.
We'll see. I'm still going into the next episode hopeful that we'll finally start seeing some progression in the storyline.
Listen,
and getting
I'm an
closer
Imperial. Fucking hope's not a thing for me. That's some rebel bullshit right there.
All right, fair enough.
Hope is for the fucking rebellion.
Yeah. So, that being said, for next week, we don't really have anything specific scheduled. I think maybe we should do this. Maybe we should hold off on selecting a topic until I know what the rest of my week is going to look like, because
you might have a whole bunch of time at home that we could do. I have to admit something to you and to all of you listening. I did not buy the digital download of episode 9 yet.
I haven't either, actually.
Haha! All right, I feel better.
Yeah, no, I meant to, but like my plate was completely full today.
Yeah, I really think what it is, I think I have a we talked about it on a podcast a little bit that I have this like sense of, because it's the last episode, that the connection that I wish I had with Clone Wars, I know I'm going to have with this movie. Like as I rewatch it, and like the John Williams bit, which is, we know this is the last John Williams thing, and goddamn, I know I get a huge raging hard on for fucking John Williams, but oh god, that's all I've been listening to, honestly.
Yeah.
Is shit that John Williams has been doing. I mean, it's been a nonstop fucking greatest hits of John Williams.
Nice.
And I find solace in that. I really I'm hesitant to get this episode so that I can watch it immediately. Like I don't have that desire.
Yeah.
It's not because it's not a good movie. I know it's a good movie. I saw it several times in the theater. But I just I don't have that burning desire. I really want to read the novelization first.
Right, and that was going to be my suggestion. Like, if it looks like I'm going to have enough adjustment in my schedule for next week, then maybe we plan on doing the novelization. Maybe that's plan A for next episode.
Yeah, as we sit here right now, it's the 15th.
Yeah, and it comes out on the 17th.
Remember back in the day when we first started doing this, how we were like faking, because we would do 2 episodes.
Oh, that's right.
We would do 2 episodes, right?
Yeah.
As we transverse towards our fucking 150th episode of this thing.
Yeah, I guess we can pull back the curtain a little bit on that.
Yeah. A little bit. Like we weren't fucking transmitting out there. Like
Yeah. So we would record 2 episodes per session.
Right.
And like we wouldn't meet here in the studio, but for every 2 weeks. So when we did meet, we'd record 2 episodes back to back, and we'd play it off like, oh yeah, what have you been doing since last week?
Exactly. And it's so funny because coming and sitting here, I'm like, oh man, we do a weekly podcast, and sometimes I feel like the weeks are on top of each other.
Yeah.
Because at one point we were just doing 2 episodes and fucking releasing them every other week.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that today, and I thought that's fucking hilarious that we were, who the fuck were we kidding?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and
maybe you out there, maybe somebody genuinely that's going to like, they don't actually do this every week. We do now. Everything that happens now is happening now.
Yes. But back then it wasn't happening now. Well, that was before we started going on YouTube. That was a big obvious thing. It was
right.
Like, well, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, here it is right there.
Yeah, and I think
I'm in the future too.
Obviously, I'm sure if we go back and listen to those first episodes, our formatting is completely different. Like we have like a set format now, despite what Dave was saying earlier. We have basically a set format.
How'd that irony taste just now?
It's led itself to these 2-hour plus episodes, which we just can't do 2 of those in one weekend.
No, because by the end of that, we're fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
At least I know I am.
Oh yeah, no, me too. So yeah, it's very interesting the way the show has evolved, because I think back in the early days it was like an hour, right? I think we'd planned for an hour per episode.
Yeah, so, like an hour and a half.
Yeah, so that's why initially we had planned, okay, we'll do 2 episodes back to back, and then we'll release them over the course of 2 weeks. Obviously that didn't work out well because especially when we get talking about shit like coronavirus.
I know.
For an hour and a half just about that.
World events. Can you imagine waiting 2 weeks to talk about this? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, you could pull it off with the Clone Wars episodes because whatever, but oh man, I'm genuinely upset with myself that I can't have a larger emotional investment right now in the Clone Wars. I feel bad. I expect so much more. Expectations managed or not, I just expected so much more out of the Clone Wars thing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was really expecting a ramp up with the intention of we have to get to this point in Revenge of the Sith, and everything we do from here on out is going to get us to that point.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't happened. And they sold it on the back of Ahsoka.
Right.
That first fucking teaser trailer.
Yeah, they
from
did.
A year ago.
Yeah.
Was fucking of Ahsoka. Was Anakin walking up and Ahsoka turning around. Hello, Master. It's been a while. That's what they sold this whole fucking thing on. 4 episodes. Not a goddamn word about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So
there's got to be a lot of Clone Wars purists out there that are just like kind of going like, this isn't what I really signed up for.
Yeah.
Got it. I mean, they got to be doing that.
Yeah.
And I mean, shouldn't we be hearing more about it? Like right now? I mean, I know there's like world events, whatever, happening right now, but I mean, in reality, like the Clone Wars have been it's been a month now that this has been out, and we're not really hearing anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, still right now, I think the biggest news item in our world is the fucking release, the early release of Episode 9.
Yeah.
I think that's a way bigger story, and we have the novelization coming out.
Mm-hmm. Which apparently there's a lot in there, so...
I'm really going to try and read it.
Oh, you're not going to do the audio?
I don't think so. I think I want to read the physical copy.
Okay.
But, fuck. So I didn't pre-order it, like, eons ago. Like, I should have, because I'm like, why am I doing that?
Right,
like, I'll save the fucking $17 and do whatever. So I, got my allowance. I'm like, hey, I want to fucking get the book pre-ordered. That way I have it right on the fucking Tuesday. Nope. Won't get it till the 25th.
What?
Yeah. Like, fuck you. I'm pre-ordering it from Amazon.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, and it has nothing to do with the coronavirus or anything else. I think it's just maybe Amazon didn't stock. Maybe they based their pre-orders on pre-orders that were made fucking way beyond.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to have to go to Barnes & Noble to buy that shit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, go there on Tuesday morning and be like, hey, you got some Star Wars?
Yeah. It's... There's very few times that Amazon has failed me. Yeah. And this is one of those times. I was more upset than I should have been. Yeah. I know Dave's been upset a lot this fucking episode. That's yeah. Because the world's on fire and shit, but
yeah, no shit.
And I can't get my fucking book that I want to pre-order on Amazon on time. Like the fuck, man.
Hopefully Barnes & Nobles is open on fucking Tuesday. With the...
I'm gonna fucking Mission Impossible that shit. I'll break into that bitch. I'm gonna get that fucking book. Don't you worry.
That would be fucking hilarious. So, all right. Well, I guess this is...
So with me, as always, making his one phone call from prison.
Live via Skype from Rikers Island is Dave.
Why would they ship me all the way up to Rikers Island?
That's the only prison name I could think of anywhere in this area.
Fair enough.
So... And the only reason I know that is from Chappelle's show. I'll go to Rikers for 3 or 4 years just to prove my point. I don't play that shit. Can I help you?
Chappelle's show.
Yeah.
Such a
way ahead of its time.
Yeah. And you can't even watch it now.
Yeah.
Like, you can't watch it in public.
Yeah.
It's people just lose their shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God forbid.
Crazy.
So, it's my beer! Yes, I hope they die, and I hope they burn in hell.
All right. Well, that's where we're going to close it up. Anticipate us doing the novelization of Rise of Skywalker for next week. If things kind of go south, then we'll adjust and we'll
figure it out.
As we always do. We'll be here no matter what.
There'll be plenty of shit to talk about.
Indeed. Like, half the country might be dead by then, so we'll have plenty of coronavirus shit to talk about.
God, I hope not. That would be really inconvenient.
Yeah.
Really inconvenient.
More so if they start getting up and crawling around and biting people and then turning other people into.
See, I've never been a zombie person. Yeah. Like it doesn't.
Not even like the George A. Romero stuff, like Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead, not that shitty remake.
No. Closest thing to a zombie movie that I've ever really been into is Shaun of the Dead,
which was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
but. Like,
go to the Winchester.
Yeah.
Let this whole thing
but if you've seen Dawn of the Dead, like that helped you appreciate Shaun of the Dead.
Well, I've seen Army of Darkness. I've seen and again, that's more tongue in cheek and a lot of that shit.
Yeah, like
I don't.
Oh my god, have you seen the original Dawn of the Dead?
Probably.
I don't think you have. Oh man, you're missing out.
Am I? Am I, Mister? I've never seen a Bond film. You're gonna judge me.
Okay, yeah, you got me.
What else have you? There was something else you didn't see last week that I'm just like, what the fuck?
I don't remember what it was. A Fast and Furious movie. Never seen a single one.
Well,
of those.
neither have I.
Okay.
We're on the same page with that.
What else? I'm sure there's something else, but
I know there is. Yeah. I'll have to listen back to last week.
Yeah. Anyway,
but I probably won't. Wait, like you hinted at earlier, nobody listens to the end of these things.
Indeed, yeah. So
they're getting to the point like, man, they're starting to taper off. I'm going to just go ahead and hit. Not even going to wait for what do I click. We're just going to fucking right.
But this really is the best of our content, though. It's just when we're
Just
bullshitting
bullshitting.
and
Yeah.
you know.
This whole thing is bullshit. What are you talking about?
I mean, we try to have some structure, talk about some Star Wars.
Until
you know.
you fuck the structure up.
I didn't fuck it up that bad this week.
He fucked it up.
Coronavirus fucked it up.
Indeed.
All right, so we're gonna go. Thank you everybody for watching on the YouTube. If you don't subscribe to our YouTube, please go to youtube.com/c/allthingsstarwars. That is our YouTube link, and hit us up on social media, Twitter,
All Things SW Pod
right?
is us on Twitter.
And on Instagram, All Things Star Wars Pod.
Yep.
And if you're on Facebook, you can join the private Facebook group. Search the Sidebar Cantina, All Things Star Wars. Request to join, and we'll figure out if you're worthy.
But solely based on your fucking handle, apparently, because we don't have any questions or anything like that.
We should, though.
We've been saying that shit for fucking years.
Yeah.
We haven't done shit about it. Be like, yeah, we should totally do that. All right, bye-bye. It's like the Libsyn login fucking thing, and we still haven't fucking fixed.
Right. Well, it's nothing that we haven't fixed it. It's the fucking iHeartRadio or whatever.
And Spotify.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Whatever. Anyway, we're going to close out the show now. So, thanks again, everybody. Patreon.com/ATSW podcast.
Go to Podbelly. You can listen to us from the site.
Yes. 5-star reviews. We need 5-star reviews on iTunes. Please do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. And with that, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. I thought I was going to break. Corona. Okay, now what do I click?
All right. Audio is off. Export.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Not bad. For fucking bullshit Clone Wars episodes. Oh my god!
Yeah.
So fucking horrible. Thank God
They weren't horrible. They were just dull. Like, it's just like,
It was season 1 or 2 type bullshit.
No.
Yes!
No, it wasn't that bad.
It was. Just because you like the fucking Rambo clone.
The Bad Batch were good for an episode and a half, but they got kind of played out by
What
the
you
end.
don't.
Yeah.
That stupid piece of crap like you'll say.
But, I mean, it wasn't like Padme and the droids off on a diplomatic mission to some fucking thing. It wasn't that bad.
Might as well have been.
Oh, come on, man. I think you're being a little dramatic there. Oh, go orange, go blue, fight, BSU. Yeah, well, BSU ain't playing shit right now.
Yeah, they ain't doing the goddamn thing.
Though,
I've seen the Twilight movies because I had a teenage girl in my household.
I actually, I kind of had a thing for What's-Her-Face for a while, so.
Fucking Stoneface?
Yeah, lesbian now, so.
What kind of thing? Like, what would you possibly...
I don't know. It was just a weird fascination. I don't know.
Is it one of those things where it's like, she can't be that fucking stoic in person? Like, this has got to be an act?
Maybe that's what it was.
Like, maybe she's super, super animated?
Yeah.
I think she'd be the easiest character to animate in Disney if they needed to.
Yeah.
I think they'd have to fucking make a robot seem more robotic.
Oh, that's good shit. I got a look when I went through the house. Apparently I said something about Kristen. I don't know.
Lunar Girl, your hubby likes that chick? I never had a thing for Kristen Stewart. Ever.
Kristen Stewart, that's the name.
Yeah. Oh my god, goldfish is so good.
I'll take it.
Yeah, get in there. Just have to run an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Man.
And then an extra 30 with the beers.
I mean, honestly, these beers are just glorified water.
Yeah. But that's good. I don't need anything really heavy.
Yeah.
I almost got Corona Light, but I'm like, no.
Like,
Let me just
what?
stick with regular Corona. I can only imagine what Corona Light tastes like.
Yeah, some things don't need to be light. Like
No.
it's in a clear bottle, it's translucent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think honestly Mountain Dew has more color to it.
I think so.
So,
So, this was
Love
episode
her.
142. We are now 8 episodes, 2 months away from 150.
so we need to get. I think when we get that, I feel weird. This is like people watching us.
We're still live.
Did you guys get like that John Williams piece digital extra? Well, we haven't bought the digital download yet.
Yeah.
So, are you confirming that the John Williams piece is on digital download? If so, then I will make sure that I procure it.
Yep.
And we will talk about it next week.
Might not be a bad idea.
For show.
Doing that for show.
Oh.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I can't tell you how glad I am. I'm fucking done with school right now.
Yeah. Especially calculus, right? You're done with calculus after this? No more math?
Yeah, my next course I have aircraft structures and craft survivability, and then I have some bullshit management class. I don't know, whatever.
Probably sleepwalk through most of that.
Yeah,
We've gotten enough management courses throughout the Air Force, and it's all the same shit.
yeah.
Active listening, force management.
I think a lot of it, honestly, once you get, because it's like a 400 level class, once you get to that point, it's more about like how to manage different like specific teams. Like, okay, we need to this level of project management has to do this, and these are the milestones you have to meet and shit like that.
Oh, they cut interest rates again.
Did they?
Fed slashes interest rates close to zero. Boosts assets by $700 billion to fight coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, the economy is. It's going to take a while to recover.
Yeah.
And
It's going to be an interesting summer.
yeah. And of course, they're blaming Trump for everything. It's like, well, what the fuck did you want him to do?
I don't know.
No, like, I guarantee you, fucking Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or whoever would not have done any better.
Well, that's the thing. When you get to something that's unprecedented, yeah, everyone's going to judge everything you do, and they're going to look at it and go like, well, that was too much or that was too little. Until you actually do it for the first time and learn something, it doesn't matter who's in that position. You're just going to either go build one way or build the other. It's and I don't know that. Maybe if anything, you try and encourage the lack of movement in between areas.
Yeah.
But that shit takes time. The amount of logistics. Can you imagine? I can't imagine sitting there and drafting the memorandum that's basically said that everyone in the DoD is not going to like that stop movement order is so fascinating to me. Like, and the implications that raises. Like, because in any other time, like especially with where I'm at with active duty, it's like in a crisis, the military is usually moving forward towards that. But in order to stop the spread of this, and like you really have to manage, like, where are we going to move our people to? Because the potential for them to like basically fly into this hidden danger is a lot higher.
Yeah.
It's just it's fascinating. This whole thing is going to be really, really interesting to study.
Yeah, I was just
after
gonna
the
say,
fact.
Yeah, what do they call that? A case study?
Mm-hmm.
A great case study.
Yeah, somebody that's in like going for their masters in public affairs or not
Anything. You could tie
public
this into
administration.
fucking anything.
Yeah.
Fucking general, business, economics, fucking government, the healthcare industry, like
Yeah.
it's so broad because it affects so many different things.
Broad.
Yeah.
No, I would. It's how businesses are going to structure themselves now. I'm looking at my for my school, like coronavirus update. It's got a picture of somebody washing their hands. Just like, oh, okay, that's good.
Remember, people, wash your fucking hands because apparently it wasn't a priority before.
Yeah, management of production and operations. So like, that's going to be more along the project management lines. Like, here's making these timelines happen and doing shit like that. It's
Which
like
again, you should be pretty
green belt and really nice shit. At least it'll be fucking not calculus.
right.
Just fuck calculus. Oh my god. But like I said, the second half wasn't actually that bad.
That's good.
Second half of the season.
All right, we ready to kill the stream?
I think so. We downloaded all that good shit.
Yeah, everything's ready. I might post it tonight. I do like to get it out on Sunday nights because then people Monday morning, first thing, going to work. Especially with, I should do it tonight. With schools being closed and businesses being closed.
You had to hear me spout a bunch of nonsense first thing in the morning? Sure, why not?
Yep. All right, well, that being the case, we're going to stop the stream. Thanks again, everybody. Bronco Fett, Luna Girl, anybody else who's left in the chat. Appreciate it.
Thank you to our listeners that were checking in from the UK, Luis Emerson, and we have another. Tevin checked in. My cousin Rick. All those peeps in there. The wives, the Lunar Girls. Thank you.
Yep. You guys rock. All right, we out.
Peace.